Hello viewers, welcome to my channel CS Learning. I hope you have seen the previous videos, introduction to Python and what is Python programming language, why we actually should learn Python. Today we are going to learn about what are Python tokens, what are basic data types of Python and all this. Okay. So this is our first theory class, you can say like that. So first we will start some small introduction with Python. Again we will revise the thing that why we are using Python actually and what is Python. So as I told you in the previous video that Python is a programming language that very easily we can learn. And why we should learn a programming language? Because computers strictly understand only the tasks given to it in machine language, and by using this machine language for giving the instruction in machine language, we use different kind of programming language. Directly, if we want to give the instruction in machine language, it should be very difficult for a human being. It is a very difficult task because it is not very easy terms to be remembered. So comparison to that one, programming languages are easier to grab on for human beings. So why we are learning Python, right? Means why Python programming? Why not other programming language like C, C++, Java? Okay. See, Python is very, first of all, it is very versatile language, and if you are working with Python, there are many functions that you can use and your work will be done. So without having any prior knowledge of programming, if you are just starting with the programming language, you can start with Python language, so that very easily you can understand the logics of the program, and the syntax are comparatively easier than other programming language, and it is very versatile. It can be used in any platform. Okay, so we are going to use actually Python 3.9 version. As I showed you in the previous video, one small code we have done. Again we will do some code, but before that we will learn about tokens in Python. First things, we will learn keywords, then identifiers, then literals, operators and punctuators. Okay, so what is keywords? Let first introduce with keyword. Okay, okay, so keyword is a term which we will define in Python to particularly mention or particularly using some reserved word. What is reserved word? Reserved word is those are having some particular meaning, and using those we can do some particular task. Okay, so when we will do the programmings, we will see what are the keywords and what is identifiers, right? So first of all, in the previous program we have used print statement. So print is a example of keyword. Okay, next coming to identifiers, and we can say identifiers are names as well. Okay, now what are identifiers? Like if I am using any kind of variable in Python, that could be a identifier. Just giving a example of identifier, that is here if we are using this x equals to 12, this one, this x is called a variable and this 12 is called a literal. Okay, now if I told you that x is a variable as well as x is a identifier, here y is a identifier and 45 is a literal, that is a value. Okay, so just we can say like this, in Python, means in the second line b equals to Python, if I am storing a string, this is a string in Python. If I am storing a word with a quotation, that could be a string type in Python. So we will see different kind of literals. So before that, just you have to know what is this x equals to 12 or y equals to 45. Actually, this x equals to 12 is assignment, that we are assigning the value 12 inside the variable x, and the x is a literal in, sorry, x is a variable and we can say it is an identifier in Python. Y is an identifier in Python. B is an identifier in Python. Okay. Now, what is L value rules and R value rules? We will learn it later on. Before that, let's go with the literals. Okay. First, string literal. What is string literal? So, we can have our string literal. Just a minute. I am showing you some example. Okay. So, if I will write x equals ABC within quotation, so this could be a string, ABC could be a string. If I am writing y equals to 1, 2, 3, then whenever I am writing it within a quotation, this could be a string. Okay, so this is a string literal. This is an example of string literal. Anything, any variable I can take. This x, y, these are variables. These are identifiers or variables. Okay. What is numeric literal? Similarly, if I write x equals to 1, 2, 3, what is this? 1, 2, 3 is 123. Or if I will write x1 equals to 1. This 1 is a value, this is a value, and this is a identifier. This x1 this x1 is a identifier. Okay. Let me change the color of the ink so that you can understand it better way. This x is a literal, x is a identifier. This x1 is another identifier. Y is another identifier, and here this x, I have circled it with blue color. This x is another identifier. Okay, let me take yellow color. I think this one is more visible than this blue. So let's see this encircled x1. This one is a string literal. This one is a numeric literal 1, 2, 3, and x equals to ABC. This one is a string literal. Okay, and X is an identifier. Now coming to the Boolean literal. If I will write A1, I can take any variable. This could be a Boolean literal. So we have to remember one thing, that Boolean literal is only having two values, that can either it can be true, or suppose another I am taking false. So one value will be true, another will be false. Means Boolean literal can be two type. One value is true, another is false. Okay, either it will be true, another will be false. Okay, what is special literal? Now suppose I am writing here x equals to none. None is a kind of literal which is called special literal in Python. So you have to remember this one. You can take notes as well, that x equals to none. This is a special literal. Okay, instead of x, you can write any variable name, x, y, z, or a, b, c, anything, right? Now, next one is literal collection. What is literal collection? Let me take a variable called ax. I can use a identifier name like this. I can use a identifier name like this, along with a number and character. Okay, that is a letter. Two letter also I can use. Okay, I can use a identifier name like this, x underscore 3. That means underscore is valid symbol that we can use inside our identifier in Python. So what is literal? A collection literal? Collection literal could be a list that is defined like this. With comma, we can write several numbers. This is a list in Python. This is called a list in Python. Okay, we will learn more about all this thing. Now coming to the next one, that is, this is called a tuple. Okay, this is called a tuple in Python. These are all collection. These are all collection literal. Okay, tuple, tuple. This list, tuple, these are all basic data types in Python. Okay, whenever we are writing x equals to 1, this is an integer. This is an integer. This is numeric literal, right? So what is literal? Again, I am repeating one more time. Literal is nothing but the value that we are assigning to a variable. It could be string, it could be numeric, it could be boolean, it could be special literal, or it could be a collection. Okay, so these are all kind of literals. Now we will go to this numeric literal. Some more things are there in this numeric literal. Let's see what is this numeric literal, or how many kind of numeric literals are there. Already I have showed you this x equals to 45, or if I write x equals to 123, this is a numeric literal. Now if I write x equals to minus 45, or if I write x equals to minus 76, this could be also a numeric literal. Or if I write 0056, 00, this OX, what is this OOOX? OO is a notation of octal number, and OX is a notation of hexadecimal number. Hexadecimal number. So this OO and OX are actually notation of octal and hexadecimal number. Now what is octal number, what is hexadecimal number? These things we will discuss in number system. Already there are playlists inside number system. You can have all these things. Okay, if you want to know more about this octal number, hexadecimal number, you can see those videos. Okay. Now, what is floating point number? Floating point number means a decimal number, or which is having a fractional value. So 3.14, this is a fraction number. So this could be a floating point. Okay, and if I write minus 3.14, then also it is a floating point number. So it could be a minus or plus value, negative and positive, both could be a floating point number. Next is complex number. Okay, so in mathematics there is a concept called complex number. So if I will write y equals to 8 plus 3j in Python, this is actually a complex number. This defines a complex number. But in mathematics, we will write this. If you are a science student, you must know this, that this is a general form of complex number, a plus ib. And what is this I? This I is the root over minus 1. The value of I will be root over minus 1, right? And this is the complex part. This IB part is the complex part, and this is the real part. This A is the real part, and this IB is the complex part, right? So this is complex number. In mathematical concept, we use this. In mathematics, we have complex number, one of the major concept of maths. So if you are learning science, you should know this. If you are not from a science background, then just you have to remember this one, that this is a general format of complex number. We can use this complex number in Python. Python is having some feature to calculate with complex number. We can add two complex number in Python easily. Suppose x equals to 2 plus 3i, and y equals to 8 plus 3j. So we can easily do this x plus y in Python. It is valid in Python. We can use this. Okay. So this is all about numeric literal. Next we will go to the string literal. Already I have showed you some example of string literal. Here I have given two example of string literal, that is Onu, S equals to Onu, and S1 equals to Shinchan. Okay, so these two are string literal. Now coming to the operators. Okay, these are the basic operators in Python. We will see this. But today we will not discuss about the operators. Just I am showing you this. These are the operators we are going to discuss: unary, binary, arithmetic, bitwise, shift operator, identity operator, logical, and relational operator. So these many operators are there. Actually, inside binary operator, we can see all this, and again logical and relational operator will comes under this binary operator. Okay, so we will learn about all these operators with some coding. Okay, so just this is the theoretical part. You just take you can take the note from here. What are the operators? We will use all these operators in coding, like plus, minus, multiplication, division. This all division is like this, slash, modular division, percentage sign. These all are the arithmetic operator. Okay, logical operator we will see, and, or. These are the logical operator. And relational operator is greater than, less than. These are all relational operator. So very shortly I am saying you all this. Next, in the next session we will see what are these operators and how to use it with program. Okay.